Hello, welcome back everybody. Today's video is about the note of lavender. Now, lavender has pretty much been used as a material in perfumery since perfume started being produced commercially, at the very least. And obviously, probably before that. It is found in so many perfumes, whether it is the leading note of a perfume, the featured note of a perfume, or a supporting player. It's a beautifully, what sets it apart from a lot of other floral notes is that it has quite a lovely, almost green woody aromatic feature that a lot of floral notes do not have. And in fact, sometimes I find it hard to think of lavender as a floral note, but essentially it is those little purple flower spears, and in very common everywhere. I see lots of lavender in neighborhood gardens, although the ones I see around don't really have much of an aroma to them. So obviously there's lots of different varieties and hybrids that have been produced, but why you wouldn't want to have one without a lovely lavender aroma, I'm not sure. The thing about lavender for me, when I first started getting into perfume and finding out more about notes, and my collection of bottles was relatively small, I had almost predetermined that lavender perfumes would not be something that really would pique my interest. And the main reason for that is because I recognize the smell, the scent of lavender as essentially my grandparents' linen closets. I have a very, very distinct memory of going to my grandmother's house, and any time I had to go sleep there or get something out of a dresser drawer, there'd be like wafts of lavender. I think she used just basically some kind of lavender-scented deodorizers for the clothes, and that was pretty common. But I made such a strong association with that scent that essentially I never thought of it as something that I could enjoy wearing in perfume. Years later, obviously that's changed. Some of my very, very favorite perfumes, really, really feature lavender. And I'm going to talk about a couple first off that I no longer own, but I guess I wanted to talk about in this video because they're essentially almost like reference lavenders on opposite sides of the spectrum. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is Caron's classic Pour un Homme, released in the early 1930s. I've done a review, so I'll link. Strong lavender note in the beginning, paired with vanilla and white musk. It's a very simple yet elegant, beautiful perfume, but you need to love lavender. And it's kind of a little bit one-dimensional, but just beautifully made, and it's a classic for a reason, and still being sold after nearly 100 years for a reason. So that's Pour un Homme. I think anyone who's interested in lavender should at least smell a version of that to understand kind of where it's come from. The next perfume that I want to hold up as some kind of sort of modern day lavender reference is Bogue Profumo's Mem. Now, I used to own a bottle of Mem, and I no longer own it. And my reasons is that I came to the realization that Mem was such a piece of, I don't want to use this term too loosely, a piece of art when it comes to showcasing the note of lavender. And I think I mentioned in my review of Mem that it's like a multifaceted lavender. There's different types of lavender extractions used in this perfume. It's you know, compared to something like Pot and Homme, it's very multi-dimensional perfume. But I found that I very rarely wanted to actually wear it. In fact, I almost felt disassociated from that scent, like where I could stand back and appreciate it as a wonderful piece of perfumery, you know, like showcasing obvious love and respect for the note of lavender and what it can do in perfume. Like it really sort of showed everybody what lavender can do. I just never felt comfortable actually wearing it on my skin. It's a weird thing, but Mem is another one that you should check out. Now, as far as the perfumes that I really love, I'm going to talk about them very quickly. Lavender is a very prominent note in lots and lots of fougère style perfumes, classic fougère, and barbershop perfumes really use the aromatic nature of lavender to add that lovely, clean, fresh, floral flavor to it. One such fougère, my favorite of all time, Sartorial from Penhaligon's. Now here, the lavender doesn't dominate. It is evenly placed with the other spectrum of notes in Sartorial, but it's another example of where it's an example of in a fougère of how lavender can add that clean aromatic atmosphere to a whole bunch of notes in here that, if overdosed or unbalanced, can get a little bit out of hand and dirty, like this beeswax in here, which can sort of off balance other things. There's a like a very mineralic, steamy vibe about Sartorial, but lavender is there. The other one, which it's a bit more lavender forward, but still very much sharing the limelight with these beautiful clean musks, as well as things like orange blossom, is Eau de Parfum by Helmut Lang. So those two perfumes do feature lavender, but they don't. Lavender is not the star of the show, to put it that way. Where the three perfumes I've chosen to show you here today feature lavender quite prominently. I'm going to talk about Chanel Boy de Chanel, lavender, heliotrope, bit of orange blossom. This is, I almost want to say, is the modern evolution of what could have started as Caron Pot en Homme and evolved over time into Boy de Chanel. That's how I feel about this perfume. It's still clean, it's still simple in its own way, although there is a bit more going on with it when you're wearing it on your skin than Caron. But I see Boy de Chanel as a modern day classic in the same way as Pot en Homme is like a 20th century classic. Then we have the magnificent, in my mind, Eau Noire by Christian Dior. Here, lavender like hits you in the face, but it's paired with a bunch of materials that sort of suddenly take that lovely, bright, aromatic cleanliness of lavender and just make it a bit darker and earthier. There's immortelle. There are savory spices in here. There's like a hint of a coffee note. Dark woods. There's licorice. There's a black licorice in here. So it's lavender, not quite as complex as something like Mem, but also lavender not in a way presented before that at least I have smelt anyway. Eau Noire by Christian Dior. And the final one I want to talk about is just about my favorite lavender forward, probably on par with Au Noir, but this one is Classical by Anat Fritz. Now, here the lavender is again paired with a combination of notes that I haven't really smelled in any other perfumes before. There's a prominent vetiver, this beautiful, smooth, earthy vetiver note with the lavender is something that was new to my nose when I smelled this. And this gorgeous base of almost like a clean patchouli in Classical. That combination, it's a weird one because I spray this on, it's my scent of the day, and I smell concurrently, like sometimes I'll smell it or I spray it on and the first thing I smell is lavender, and then other times I spray it on and it's a vetiver perfume to me. It's a real shape, it's a kind of shapeshifter, but it doesn't have many shapes it can shift into, if you get my drift. But it's just really well done. So probably just not known enough about. I'm hoping it gets a lot more distribution. I think they've relocated to the US and at Fritz, and hopefully we'll get more distribution of this beautiful lavender-centric perfume. I obviously am missing a whole bunch of lavenders, and I haven't even touched on like lavender in the world of feminine marketed perfumes. I don't even know how many there are or what the prominent ones are. So I want you guys to let me know in the comments the lavender that you really enjoy in your perfume, your favorite lavender note in a perfume. Even like what you wish you could, what you wish lavender would be done with. Like, I think even though it's such a widely used note and been around for so long, it feels like there hasn't been enough, it feels like to me there hasn't been enough experimentation with the note of lavender and what can be done with it. But what do I know? I'm not a perfumer, and probably someone has tried to do it before and it just is not going to work. But anyway, I can dream. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed my little video about lavender perfumes, and I will see you all soon for the next video. Okay, bye.